Good evening everybody, Calm Biker here. And because my videos have been getting a bit long recently,
Although you can watch 1 time and a half.
I thought I would go straight into my topic tonight. My topic is a response to RedGrandy, who did a great video on his top 5 biking hates. So I thought I'd do a response video with my top 5 biking hates. So my number 1 is maintenance of roads and road planning. I don't understand why, when motorbikes have been around for a very, very long time, it's hard, or it seems impossible, for the people who design roads and maintain them to do it in a biker-friendly way. I'm talking about the white lines in the middle of roads, which seem to be almost permanently wearing out. I mean, which actually this bit has been resurfaced and these lines are starting to look ropey already. Especially at night on the white lines when you can't see them. Why they have to put manhole covers or person hole covers, if you so prefer, in such awkward places. Just on the road outside my house, little tiny road that leads to the main road, there's a section about probably 50 yards long, if that has 7 utility covers, all metal, all really slippery in the wet, all at different positions across the road. So some are right in the middle, in amongst the white lines, some are in the middle of the lane, some at the left of the lane, some at the right of the lane. And you hit them all within about 20 seconds. Well, you're trying not to hit them all. I don't understand why we need all this stuff to be the slippery stuff. And that, I mean, going back to the white paint from the opposite direction, I'd like the white paint to be there, but surely it's not beyond the wit of man to create white paint that isn't slippery when it's wet. So I'd like a bit of that, more white paint, but non-slippery stuff, please, because that's silly. And also, when you're planning these roads and planning them for bikes, have a care for the fact that they're really easy to steal. So, you know, more bike parking areas with things you can lock your bike to would be nice. My number 2 hate about biking is about attitude. And it's the attitude of other people, of people who aren't on bikes. And it's not all of them, but there seems to be an attitude or a stereotyping of bikers as all crazy. I showed it in a random clip I did once, where I was going down a road at about 20 miles an hour in a 30 mile an hour zone, and a car just pulled out in front of me, so I tooted it, and somebody at the side of the road waved their arms about me and told me to slow down, even though I was barely moving. And it's that attitude that bikers are always going to be in the wrong, because they're always speeding, they're always riding dangerously, you know. That whole attitude really annoys me. Number 3 is training. I don't understand the training system that we have in the UK. Well, I do understand it. I mean, I'm not stupid. It's not hard to understand. But I think it's silly. I think it's organised incorrectly. I don't understand why we have a CBT at all. And I know some people are not going to like that, because a lot of people get the CBT, ride around on L plates, and are happy with the 125 and never do the test. And that's the thing I don't understand, because you're even on a 125, you're on a machine that can very easily kill somebody, and yet there is no requirement whatsoever to have more than the basic training. CBT stands for compulsory basic training. You don't need to do a test. You don't need to prove that you're actually competent. You don't need to know what a single roadside sign means, or what a single lane marking or white line or yellow line or any coloured line on the road means, however well painted that line might be. And that doesn't make any sense to me. I think that maybe there's scope for a learning permit that doesn't last as long, and that we should actually be encouraging people to take the test. But the tests, I think, are silly as well, from kind of the opposite point of view. If you've done your Mod 1 test to prove that you can handle a 125, and your Mod 2 test to prove that you're safe on the roads, you get your basic test and you can ride a 125. When you get a little bit older and you want to upgrade to a slightly more powerful bike, you can go and do your A2 licence. And you have to do your Mod 1 again to prove that you can handle it. Well, it's a bigger bike, so it kind of makes sense that you should be able to prove that you can handle what is almost certainly a bigger, heavier bike. However, why do you need to do your Mod 2 again? Why do you need to prove you're safe on the road again? I think actually by having them split, you've got the opportunity to just do the Mod 2 again. Sorry, the Mod 1 again, not the Mod 2 again, which is the cheaper of the two, to upgrade your licence. And the same when you want to go and get your unrestricted licence. Why do you have to do 2 tests again? Seems silly to me, so I think that could all get restructured. It feels like it's designed to stop you getting on a bike. Actually, I think there are some benefits to splitting the 2 tests. Certainly if you fail your Mod 1 and shown that you're not actually capable of handling a bike and controlling it, it makes sense that you haven't already gone out and been on the road on your Mod 2. And also the Mod 1's quite cheap compared to the Mod 2, so it doesn't cost you as much if you fail to resit it. So there are benefits. But going through the full process from kind of age 17 on and having to do 6 tests is overkill, I think. Okay, so my hit number 4 is to do with maintenance again, but this time it's maintenance of the bike. Now, if you follow the path that many do and don't do any of your own maintenance, I think maintenance is ridiculously expensive on a bike. So you go in for your oil change and your filters and your basic service, and on a bike like this that can set you back £200, £250 depending on which service it is. And it's kind of comparable to a car, I suppose. It's not horrendously expensive if you think about it that way. But on a car, your service intervals tend to be 12,000 miles, 15,000 miles. I had a car with service intervals of 20,000 miles once, before the EU made that not possible anymore. So why is it that the service intervals on bikes, I mean this has got quite long service intervals really at 7,500 miles, some of them are half that. Why does a bike need to be serviced every 3,000 or 4,000 miles? I mean obviously there's different tolerances and all that kind of stuff in it, but I'm sure that, again, not beyond the wit of man to make it a little bit less expensive, because it's the kind of thing, you know, the price of these things that can really put you off having a bike. You know, you buy a bike that costs in some cases a lot less than a car. You know, if you're looking for transport, it's great, but in some cases as much as a car. But then you're hit with all of these extra bills. You know, tyres, obviously tyres are much more complicated on a bike, so it costs much more. I'm not suggesting that they make tyres super duper cheap, because I'd rather them be safe. But I have literally this evening ordered a pair of new tyres for this bike off the internet, the cheapest I can find, my preference of tyres, the Michelin PR4s, and a pair of tyres, the best part of £210. And then if you're paying to have them fitted, well, that seems to vary hugely. Some places are charging £25 a wheel, and that's if you take the wheels in. I hate to think what they charge if you take your bike in and ask them to fit the tyres to your bike. So I think that's one of my hates. I'm not saying there's anything you can do about it, but I don't like it. Okay, my number 5 is about the promotion of bikes, or the lack of it. It seems that you can't turn on your TV and flick through the TV guide without seeing a car program of some sort, a Top Gear or a Fifth Gear or something like that. And when you get to the adverts, even on really cheap and nasty daytime TV that I might switch on while I'm having my lunch, luckily I work from home, there'll be a car advert. I've even seen in the middle of really cheap daytime TV car adverts for supercars, that Audi R8, well over £100,000, and they're advertising it to people who don't have anything better to do than watch Judge Judy. But when was the last time you saw a bike advert? Apart from on the somewhat part-time bike channel, which seems to barely ever be on, and when it is on, it's the same as kind of 10-year-old YouTube quality videos. You never see adverts for bikes, at least not in the UK. And there seems to be very little promotion of bikes to the general public, and that just seems a little bit sad really. It's a pastime or a hobby for a lot of people that is brilliant and really enhances their lives. And for other people, it's a form of transport that is relatively cheap, barring the service costs I've already talked about, and easy to get into, barring the fact that I want to change the tests. But a brilliant form of transport, and it's great for everybody on the road because it does less damage to the road and it causes less congestion. But it never seems to be promoted. The only time you ever hear about it is if you're explicitly going out and looking for bike stuff, and clearly that isn't promoting it against amongst anybody who isn't a biker already. So I'd like to see more bike promotion stuff. The only time you ever see bikes on the TV seems to be on these police programs, where either they're pulling over a biker for speeding, or they're scraping the remains of a biker up off the road. Again, the negative attitudes. So that's my number 5. Just for a bonus one, I'm going to give you a 6th one because I'm going to come across it soon as the sun goes down. Bike lights. I've got quite swanky LED lights in this bike, but even so, on country roads at night, when the white lines have worn out, bike lights are just not acceptably good enough. So there's my 5 biker hits plus a bonus. I've probably gone on too long again, so I apologise for that. Go and check out RedGrandy's channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.